Now that we have our bill of quantities, we need to give these quantities costs or prices. Let's start by looking at the footing rebar. So at its most basic form, costs can be given as unit prices. For example, this footing rebar, if it's subcontracted with the price of €2 per kilo, consisting of both work and materials, we'll just put the €2 per kilo here in the subcontracting row of the resources tab. If you want to take into account both work and material costs, but use unit prices, that you can do it like this with the bitumen layer. First, we need to input our consumption rate for the layer spreading. Let's say you spread 10 square meters per hour, so the consumption rate is 0.1 hours per square meter. Then we give an hourly price without social expenses to the price column, and then we get a price per square meter and price for the total work. We can also add the material cost here. Let's say it's €5 per square meter. And now the total cost for the entirety of the bitumen layer spreading is €750, which can be seen up here, and the unit price consisting of both work and materials can be seen here. If you want to do cost estimation a little bit more accurately, you should use resources, which means adding the manpower and the materials, for example, by clicking these Add Resource buttons here. Let's add the worker first. So we'll click Add Resource, and we can either look for resources in our library, reference project, or resources that are already in the estimate. But we can also add new resources. I'll say this is the form work worker, and the unit of this form work worker is hours, and the hourly wage that the worker gets is, let's say, €25 an hour. The consumption rate for form work could be like half an hour per square meter, and we can add a little bit of waste to ensure we have enough hours calculated. Finally, we will press Save, and we have created our first resource with all the information shown here. We can also add a material resource and search for a veneer board, for example, by typing veneer here in the name and looking for a veneer board in our resource library. There will be another video where we go over the administration of the resource library, but now we can just click Add Resource and close this window by clicking outside of it. When adding a resource to a work item, you should always check the consumption rate. For example, when we're talking about form work, the consumption rate for veneer is 1 square meter per square meter of form work. Probably there will be some waste, so we can take that into account by putting it here. So the total quantity of veneer we need is 287.5 square meters, and the total hours for the form work will be 137.5 hours.